How to not be dismissive in an argument. It's easy. Just take ownership of your own words and your own actions instead of pushing it off on the other person. For example, if you say, "I'm sorry you feel that way" to somebody, it's not an apology at all. It's very dismissive because you take zero ownership of your own words and your own actions. Instead, try something like, "I'm sorry that my behavior or my conduct, my actions, my words made you feel that way." Or just try, "I'm sorry, period." But at least take ownership for what you're doing. So try that and follow me. Take control of a conversation. Number one, you cut into it. And you do that by using the person's name. If you begin with, "Well, I," or "No," or "But," they don't like those words. They'll double down on their control and tighten their grip on the conversation. But if you use their name, well, they like that word, and they'll pause just long enough to listen. Number two, make a comment about what they just said. Now, ideally, it should be a compliment of sorts, and it can be really simple. For example, "Jefferson, you make a good point there." Or, "Jefferson, I agree, this is worth talking about." You see, when it sounds like you're challenging them, they tighten control. But if it sounds like a compliment, they'll let it go without even knowing. And number three, immediately ask a question of curiosity. That means you're going to say the phrase, "I'm curious to know," and then direct the conversation wherever you need it to go. Maybe it's to yourself or back to the other person, to someone else. And that's how to take control of the conversation. So try that and follow me. How to not get defensive in your next argument. Stop carrying the weight of other people's words. Maybe you didn't know, but you get to decide if what somebody says means anything to you at all. You get to decide the weight, the value that you put on their words. And too often what somebody says isn't worth the paper if you wrote it down, yet we hold it and collect it, and before you know it, we're carrying a book. Drop it. Just because they throw a pitch doesn't mean you have to swing. Let it go by. And you do that by controlling your breath. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. And when you do that, you force them to watch their words sink into silence. And you take back control. So try that and follow me. How to stop oversharing. If you wouldn't share your personal closet with them, don't share your personal thoughts with them. When you overshare, it's like handing out your favorite sweatshirt. The other person's not going to love it like you do, or protect it, or guard it like you do. So to help with that, try this. Number one, add a now filter. It asks the question, but do they need to know it now? We want them to know something. In fact, we think they may even need to know something, but do they need to know it now? Most of the time, the answer is no. Number two, when you overshare, you undervalue the price of your words. Even when you answer that harmless question at work, "How was your weekend?" it allows the other person to create a perception of you for good or bad, and that comes at a very high cost. And number three, understand that true connection rarely comes from just talking about yourself. So if you ever think, "Am I talking too much?" the answer is always yes. So try that and follow me. How to get a narcissist to reveal themselves. Number one, see what they have to say when you bring up good news or an achievement of somebody else or yourself. What they're going to do is downplay the achievement or belittle or say something negative about the person. Number two, if there's one thing that a narcissist hates more than disagreeing with them, it's doubting them. So I've used the phrase, "I'm not so sure about that," and see how they respond. If it's negative and disproportionate to the question that I'm asking, in other words, they're going really high and get really aggravated and upset by that, that should be a clue. And number three, bring up a comparison between the narcissist and really anybody and say that this other person did something better than the narcissist and see what they do. In the litigation context and the legal world here, I might be asking an expert witness who's testifying about a given material, and I say, "Well, I was doing some reading from this expert who's already certainly qualified, and they have an opinion different from yours, and I can't really justify that." And they will shut that opinion down as if they are the only one that could possibly have the right answer, and it is a dead giveaway every time. Follow me. How to politely end a conversation that's going nowhere. Number one, I will close the loop. Meaning if we first start talking about family, then work, and then, I don't know, the weather or whatever else, I will bring the conversation back to how it first started, which would be family. For example, I might say, "Well, I'm glad to hear that everybody in the family is doing great. It's been good to see you, Jefferson." Number two, I check off the list. As if my whole conversation was something I just want to check off my list. For example, I could say, "Well, look, I just want to come by and make sure everybody was doing well. I'm glad to hear that so-and-so is
is doing great. It's been really good to see you, Jefferson.
Number 3, I get out of their way. I just assume they're busy and that they have other things better to do than to talk to me. So I might say something, for example, look, don't let me hold you up. I know you got a lot going on today. Or, I don't want to keep you. I know you have a lot of people to talk to tonight. It's been good to see you. But no matter what you choose to say, always end it with a compliment in the person's name. When you say their name, it leaves a positive impression, and that's what you want. So try that and follow me. 3 phrases to stand your ground at work. Number 1, if somebody makes a backhanded, passive-aggressive comment, I want you to use the phrase, is that feedback or frustration? It works because it interrupts the moment without escalating it. In fact, it puts the burden on the other person to now explain. Was it truly a suggestion, or were they really lashing out? And all the while, you remain professional. Number 2, if somebody steals your credit for an idea, we're going to strategically use the phrase, did you mean? For example, you might say, I noticed my name wasn't mentioned with X, Y, and Z. Did you mean to leave that out, or did you mean to not bring up my name? Of course, they're going to say, no, I didn't mean to. It was a total mistake. You are going to respond with, would it be a problem? Would it be a problem to circle back with so-and-so and let them know my name's attached to it, or give me credit for it? That's how you handle it. And number 3, if you're always getting put down anytime you share an idea, use percentages like, okay, I have 20% of an idea and I need y'all's help with the other 80%. They will not see it as competition, but something now to join into to help complete the 100%. And that's how to stand your ground at work. So try that and follow me. How to respond to a liar. Number 1, if they're not telling you the truth, take a pause and say, I need to come back to this conversation. Then take a break. If they're telling you the truth, not going to be a problem. But if they're not, it's going to eat them alive. They're probably going to pepper you with questions like, well, what do you think happened? They're asking that so they can craft a narrative that aligns with your suspicions but redirects the guilt. Number 2, use the phrase, something feels off. If they're telling you the truth, they'll accept it and say, okay, what feels off? But if they're not, they'll have this big overreaction where they will challenge your sense of reality and gaslight you and say things like, you are literally insane right now. That's bait. Don't bite it. Or number 3, don't say anything. Not a single word. Just wait and watch. Liars will start to talk to themselves. Like, why would I do something like that? That's not even me. They will get more flustered and more upset because you're not falling for it. So the less you say, the more control you have. So try that and follow me. How to talk to someone who's passive-aggressive, part 2. If you want to know how to handle passive-aggressive behavior, you first have to know how to recognize it. So here are the top 3 signs that somebody is getting passive-aggressive. Number 1, they go quiet or close to it. So they want to resist openly, but they don't know how or don't want to. So instead, they just resist subtly, usually in the form of nonverbal behavior. So they'll stonewall you. They won't respond to you. They'll forget. They will delay. All these are just different tactics. Number 2, they'll throw all of the words down. Like, okay, I guess, fine, as if they just gave up on them, so they just threw them in the dirt. Number 3, their words and their actions don't match up. See, passive-aggressive people secretly want you to know how they're feeling. That's why their nonverbal is so exaggerated when they roll their eyes. It's kind of a hit-and-run approach. Like, they want you to know that they're unhappy, but they want you to figure it